All right, today is December 1, 2022. This is the meeting of the Kubernetes Storage Special Interest Group. As a reminder, this meeting is public, recorded, and posted on YouTube. We're going to go through the agenda today. First up, we're going to go through the 126 planning spreadsheet and get a final status update on the items that are going into the 126 release. The upcoming deadline is the release date, which is December 6th next week, so coming up very quickly. So we just want to get an end of cycle update for all the features that folks have been working on. Then we'll go over PRs to discuss. If you have any PRs or designs that need review, please feel free to add them. Or if there's anything else that you want to add, feel free to add to the agenda and we'll get to that afterwards. So with that, we'll go ahead and switch over to the planning spreadsheet and start getting status updates. So first up, we have delegate FS group to CSI driver instead of kubelet. This includes CSI updates. So let me make a new column here. Okay, anyone have updates on this? Is Hemant on the line?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, this got merged and it's done.
Awesome.
Oh, I think block is under review.
Yeah, blog is under review.
But the rest is done.
Yeah.
Cool, almost there. Thanks, Hemant. Next item is recovering from resize failure. Do you have any update on that one?
I opened a PR that, like I'm working on test. I opened a PR that refactored some of the mock tests, and then I have a PR. I don't have a PR yet, but I'll have a PR soon, in a day or two, that actually adds the new tests. I'm working on them. So as soon as the master branch merge opens, we should have these two things done, like for E2E.
Got it. Are we still targeting 126 for this release or for this task?
It was just test. Now
Got
we
it.
have to target the next release. Just
Okay.
E2E.
No worries. Sounds good. I'll just take a note for that.
We probably should change the target to alpha, right? We're not changing the status.
Staying in. I guess we could leave it as is and then just mark it as incomplete and copy it over.
Okay.
Okay, next up is issues related to assuming volumes are mount points. Do we have Jing? Looks like we haven't had an update on this for a while. Does anyone know what the status of this one is?
I think there's still a bunch of issues related to mount points. I think Michelle knows some, and then there's issues during reconstruction when we assume the volumes are mount points and we don't properly reconstruct sometimes. So we still have to fix those things as far as I know. I think if we look at the last update, there will be some updates on this one. There should.
Okay, so we'll keep that open. Seems like this is probably going to get punted to the next release. Next two items are already complete, so I'll skip over those. Then we have volume group API. Anything new on this one?
No, so I pinged James, have not got a reply, so I probably should send him an email and see if can. I just need to set up a meeting with him to go over his concerns. I have already addressed his comments on that PR. The party should talk about this one in the meeting. And so I know next week we have the CSI community sync, right? So I'll see if he can join that one. If not, probably I'll see if I can set a different one.
Okay, sounds good. And then we have provision volumes from cross namespace, snapshot PVCs. Anyone have an update on this one? Looks like last update, API code was merged, docs in review, PR and external provisioner in review, and volume populator pending.
Yeah, so Michelle has been reviewing this. I don't know if Michelle is talking. You're on mute.
Oh, sorry. This is the cross namespace stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm actively reviewing this.
Cool. Do you know what the latest status is? Has any of this changed?
I think the docs PR has merged. So the only things we have now are the external provision and populator changes.
Got it. Cool. Thank
And
you.
there's also
Michelle.
a blog.
Let me add that in. And I'm assuming the blog PR is just in review, already created.
Yeah, it's ready to review. Yeah, not sure what's the publish date because the code is still in progress. So hope we have enough time to get things wrapped up.
Got it. Okay. Next up, we have CSI Volume Health additional metrics.
So yeah, Run actually submitted a work in progress PR for the E2E test.
And this is targeting the current release.
No, this is for next. This is for this release. We're just trying to add test.
Got it. Okay.
So we're staying alpha.
Okay, next up we have new RWO access mode, add end-to-end tests. So last status was test was merged, scheduler improvements question mark. Anyone know the latest on this one?
I saw some PR on scheduler. I'm not sure in what state it is. But the tests are merged.
Sounds like you said schedule related PRs are open, and so what was that about tests?
Yeah, the tests are merged.
Tests are merged, got it. Okay, and it sounds like this is gonna move to the next release.
Yes.
Yeah, we ended up not targeting the promotion this release. And we kept it in alpha to add more tests and things.
Okay, sounds good. Next up, we have runtime assisted mounting. So CSI spec PR submitted, runtime class suggestions from SIG node. Anything new here, Deep?
I'm mainly waiting for some eyes on the CSI PR.
Got it.
Spec PR, if someone can take a look, that'll be great.
Okay. Then we have CSI Proxy for Windows, transition to privileged containers. So last status PR's out. Anything new here?
I don't know if Mauricio or Alex is here, but there's been continuing work in figuring out how to launch it correctly because there's, incompatibilities and such.
Cool. Thanks, Matt. Next, we have CSI proxy performance issues. I'm assuming this one will be no update.
So actually, does anyone know what this is? Because isn't this moot now that we're moving to host process?
I think it's unclear if host process actually improves the performance or not.
God, so the performance with host process is marginally better, but basically the same.
Yeah, so this item basically came up, I think, because someone was doing performance experiments comparing Linux to Windows and saw that Windows had lower performance. And I think we weren't clear if it was actually a regression from in-tree Windows to CSI Proxy, or
Gotcha.
is it just inherent, difference between the operating systems?
Gotcha. Okay. Thanks for the context.
So we'll keep this open and then see if someone can confirm if this is still an issue or not. Node expansion secrets. Anybody here from Humble on this one?
I think this one is Michelle. This is still some new contributor saying they may.
Yeah, someone reached out to me and said they were interested in working on this, but I think they ended up not having time to work on it.
Got it.
So I think this is still open for help if anyone wants to jump in on this.
Yeah, please speak up if you're interested in helping out with this item. And feel free to reach out offline. We can figure it out. Next up is SE Linux relabeling using mount options, end-to-end tests, volume reconstruction. So all PRs were merged. Go ahead, Jan.
Yeah, everything is merged. I still have some tests work in progress. We can do it in the next cycle. But everything I wanted is merged.
Got it. Okay, that sounds good. Next, skip this one. vSphere, Windows, CSI migration, move to GA, codes merged, doc, PR, and review. Anything new here?
Doc is also merged.
Nice.
Yes,
Anything
and
outstanding?
We also added more notes in the release notes. We added more, like the Windows, not GA yet. But we wait for the next CSI driver release, which is for 1.24.
Got it. Okay. Sounds like it's pretty much done. Anything outstanding?
I think it's done.
Cool. I'll go ahead and mark this as done then. Then we've got Azure Disk and Azure File. Anyone have updates on this one? So I guess Azure Disk is moving to 127. Azure File, code merge, doc, PR, and review. Anything new here?
It's done. Doc is merged.
Nice. Cool. Go ahead and mark that as done as well. Okay, next we have Ceph RBD and Ceph FS.
Yeah, the next two didn't make it. Need to move
Okay.
to
Move that to 127, and then we've got Cluster FS. Last status was need to check doc status.
So there's a doc that's getting very close. I think Humble just replaced it today, so hopefully that will get merged soon.
Cool, sounds good. Next up, we have always honor reclaim policy.
So Yang, you have been. I don't know if you feedback here. Looks like it's not here. Yang has been reviewing this, right?
Yes. So the fixes in lib external provisioner has been merged. So we need to do a release of the library and then merge it into the external provisioner. And
We don't have any
that's,
other
I think,
PR. We don't have pending PRs for external provisioner, right? Yeah. Everything's merged coding wise.
Well, we need the library there.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
New
So
version
basically,
of
we
the
just we don't, but we don't need to like add additional code changes. Basically, it's just use the new lib, then that should be provision. Okay.
Yes, that should be it.
Got it. Okay.
And I think he's also going to add the test. Basically, will be in probably be in the external provisioner repo, ETV test, once the framework is ready. That's pending still.
Cool. So it looks like it's in progress. It's probably going to get slipped into the next release, but
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It's external provisioner stuff. Then you have control volume mode conversion between source and target.
Yeah, this one, so Ronak is working on adding this E2 test in external side cost repo. So still, he has a few PRs. Patrick is helping reviewing it. So once those are in, then I think Deepak can add a test using the same, basically same method.
Got it. Cool. Thank you, Xing. Next, we have items that are co-owned with other SIGs, starting with SIG node, non-graceful node shutdown.
Yeah, this one basically just has the blog pending. It's being it's just in reviews. It's already submitted.
Okay, so pretty much all done. Just
Yeah.
blog
Hey,
through.
Fuman, can you help review the blog since you reviewed the alpha version?
Okay, yeah, sure.
I will send you a link.
Okay.
Is it
Yeah,
beta now?
Sorry?
Is it beta now?
It is beta, yes.
Okay, so the blog is to move to beta. That's
Yeah.
great news.
Yeah, that's awesome. Next up, enable user namespace in kubelet so UIDs get shifted, rootless mode.
So there's the actually there are two different stories. This is a bit of confusion. We should track them differently. One is to run run kubelet without root, and that is a different cap. And there's a second cap is the one that we were talking in the last meeting, which is like enable user namespace inside kubelet. And yeah, so the last time we had folks from Signal presenting the enabling user namespace in kubelet, and I tried to use that feature, and it's released alpha in the last release, but I found that it doesn't actually work with any configuration, any combination of container runtime and Linux kernel right now. Either there are bugs in container runtime or bugs in Linux kernel. So it's just like to provide more feedback to the SIG folks who came to our meeting last meeting. I think we need a little bit more time. Like Cryo had some bugs which prevents the user namespace to work properly when integrated with Kubernetes. But we should split this into two different.
Got it. So let me go ahead and do that right now.
Let me find the user. I think the cap that we have linked is for kubelet, rootless kubelet. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is the enhancement 2033.
Okay.
And then there's another one, the user namespace. What is that enhancement? Add support for user namespace 127.
127. So number 2 is 127. Can you put a comment here offline?
Yeah.
Sure, this is and so let me change the names here as well. So okay, so I think we should have two different tasks here. We can track them separately moving forward.
I've
And,
left.
I think you added a comment here. Yeah, let me go ahead and promote that.
Might have to tweak it. Sorry.
Okay, good to go.
Oh, before we move to the next slide, I have one question for Ben. Do you have any plan to continue to work on your PR in that CSI spec, the force detach thing?
The force detach CSI spec change.
Right.
I would like to bring that back. Yes, if there's openness to actually moving forward. Like I can outline the design in more detail if that would help people understand it better. I mean, I still think that the PR as is okay to merge, and what's missing is sort of an understanding of the rest of the design. So yeah, if people want to see that merge, I'll work on it.
Well, we probably should sync up offline if you have some time to work on this.
What I don't have is a ton of time.
Okay, that's the same.
I can possibly make time if the outcome is likely to be successful.
I think that James he still has those concerns, right? So probably need to talk to him.
Yeah, maybe we just need to schedule a meeting with James and try to get him on board. Figure out where the disconnect is.
And so what's the relationship to this PVC?
Oh, that's a non-graceful no shut.
Got it. Okay.
Ben was
Got it.
He talked about it last time, I remember. So I just wanted to ask him.
Okay. Okay, so let's keep moving. Then we've got Sig Apps address issue. PVC created by stateful set will not be auto removed. And this is getting moved to 127. Next.
Yes, that's still accurate. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Matt. We've got volume expansion for stateful sets. Anything new on this? Seems like to move to 127.
I don't know if anyone's actively working on it. This might need a new owner.
I think we need Haman's bandwidth to take a look. There is someone who actually has a PR there, a cap there, right? Haman, you want to chime in?
It was there's no enhancement. There was some POC. I'll have to take a look.
I thought there was the guy submitted the cap, right? Basically transitioned from Shalini to this guy, and his name is there, Areller. But he has a cap. He has a cap basically just based on the previous cap. He did the update and maybe he did the POC.
Okay,
I think there are still a few things not resolved properly. Just
Okay, let's follow up on that offline. Sounds like possibly there was a cap or POC by somebody. Unclear if we have a solid owner for this or not.
Yeah. Okay, there's a update to the cap. So okay, I'll take a look in this release cycle. If we can get target design, that'll be great. But yeah.
Got it. Okay. So let's say cap was updated. Review. Cool. Thank you both. And last, we have better default storage class. Code was merged, doc PRs in review. Anything new here?
So doc was merged and block is on review.
Nice. Cool. Thank you, Jan. And with that, we'll switch back to our agenda. And first up, we have a PR from Deep. I think this was the one that you mentioned, Deep, around runtime assisted mounts. So that needs to be reviewed. Please help take a review, take a look at this. Anything else you want to add, Deep?
No, it's pretty much what we discussed during the CSI spec meeting. I just recopied it here for visibility.
Perfect. Yeah, we got the CSI spec meeting coming up next Wednesday, so can discuss this there as well.
Yep. Thanks.
Next, we have from Jan, dynamic provisioning configuration in PVC. Issue or pull request 808 here in the external provisioner.
So it comes every now and then that somebody comes and wants to configure the dynamic provisioning parameters not in storage class, but in PVCs. So far, we have been resisting because that makes the PVCs not portable, but it doesn't stop the people from requiring that. So I don't know, has anything changed in this area, or is it still the same? I think the previous discussion on this call 2 years ago, and also like 5 years old CAP, that was almost merged, but then in the end, nobody really wanted to implement it. So is it still the same? Still, we still want portability, and that's the absolute measure.
Yeah, the cap. So that was, I didn't see that before. That was a pretty early cap. So you're saying it's almost merged, or it's just nobody? So it's like the design was accepted, but nobody working on the coding. Is that what you mean?
Yes, I think if I remember correctly, that's the last status. It introduced what was that, config map in user's namespace, and then PVC would point to a storage class and to the config map. So, and somehow merging the parameters from both. But that's it's complicated from cluster admin perspective, because some storage class parameters could be dangerous, and they need to, the cluster means they need a way how to limit some parameters from being used in the config map, and all the user experience was kind of bad, I would say.
I guess how much, so we're having discussions on QoS right now, right? But I think that some folks are wanting to leverage things to do more than QoS. Like, how much do we think that discussion can help with this?
Yeah, I agree that because the kind of QoS discussion is sort of talking about plumbing PVC parameters down to the driver, which is actually which has to be used at provisioning time for QoS. So it would help here too.
Maybe I don't follow the quality of service discussion closely. Is it still like some predefined, I don't know, classes like fast and slow, or is it like free form?
We haven't decided anything, so there's still plenty of opportunity to change. But sort of the direction it's going is there will be driver specific parameters like number of IOPS. So yeah, instead of like classes, it should be kind of general parameters.
Okay, so this is basically the same as having generic parameters for anything, not just quality of service. right?
Yeah, just like right now, the motivating CUJs is quality of service. I mean, I think there are a couple of options. There's also some discussion about using the new resource claim cap, which might not be general and help this case.
I guess also in terms of the question of portability and how important that is, I would say it is still very important, especially to service providers who are writing applications to work across multiple environments. They don't want to have special logic to deal with every different platform or infrastructure that they're using. I was actually watching, or not watching, I was looking at some slides of a talk, and I think it was someone from, it was like a maintainer of the Kubernetes Cassandra operator, I believe. And they were saying that, you know, portability is key to them. And, you know, they actually specifically called out like PVC being portable as kind of, you know, really kind of key to letting them, you know, be able to write their operator. They called out the one of the networking ones, like, is it ingress or load balancers? And they were saying how every single cloud has all these custom annotations, and it's pretty difficult for them to write an operator to deal with that.
So maybe, Matt, can you please link the discussions about quality of service?
Yes, if you scroll down that link there, please note that I corrected
yeah, okay,
the
okay,
link
okay.
in the suggestion, but yeah, I'm trying to consolidate all discussion to this doc, and we're also planning on meeting Tuesday next.
Okay, thanks. I will read that, and maybe we do want the same thing.
Yeah, yes, cool, great. But thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah, and I'll say big +1 to Michelle. I know portability is hard. I know it makes it difficult to not be able to add arbitrary things. But like Michelle said very eloquently, you know, it is what makes Kubernetes attractive. You write your application deployment once and kind of don't have to worry about it. So let's try and hold up that principle if we can. Okay.
Sure.
With that, let's move on to the next item, copying PVC annotations.
That's sort of a special case of the previous discussion, because all the cloud providers, they tell you label everything. And then you come to Kubernetes and you can basically set labels in storage class, but not per application, not per user, not per namespace. So again, people come and ask for a way how to transfer their PVC labels or something, it doesn't need to be PVC label, into a label in the cloud, so they can see what is what, and in similar fashion transfer labels from PVC to PVs, so they can filter PVs better. And again, I'm resisting because like PVC labels and PV labels, they are different. They have different purposes, but I think there should be some way how to transfer some labels, some selected name labels from a PVC to a PV.
Today we already do pass in like the namespace and the name of the PVC for that labeling purpose. But I guess this is like if somebody has like some even more custom label that they want to like the
it will tell you name of the Kubernetes object that requires that PV, but it doesn't tell you what application it is. It doesn't tell you what user it is. It doesn't tell you too much. So, well, again, as I said, like, sorry.
Honorable mention is the vSphere syncer, which runs a daemon to sync labels. But like, it fetches the PVC and it syncs it to the vCenter backend. So I don't know, like in that case, obviously it's a optional, not so optional component of the driver, but I don't want to derail the discussion too much. But is that something that could work for other driver authors?
Sure, but then each driver author would need to write its own syncer. Because we have no notion of tag in CSI or label.
So I think if I remember the discussion around this correctly, I think we were worried about this being used or abused to basically, avoid portability. So if we made it very easy to pass the labels all the way from the PVC into the driver, then someone will just use it to have some custom behavior and break the portability. And so we wanted to keep the bar high for this, so you could write your own thinker. And yes, that is harder, but hopefully you are aware of what you're doing and not, misbehaving.
Like,
I think that was the
as
reason.
I said, it is a special case. It is a special case of the previous bullet. So if we get the previous bullet, then the tags will be easy.
Right.
So, okay, so let's keep it as a special case of the previous one and solve the previous one first. Okay, that works for me.
Low battery.
Okay, cool. Thanks, John. Finally, we've got volume costs from Matt Carey. Matt?
Yeah, so I actually figured these previous two topics were going to fill up the time, so it would be better to make a meeting for next week to discuss the cause stuff. I mean, I think as mentioned, it's possible that this is actually just the general question we've just discussed about passing on my driver specific parameters or around. We could continue the discussion now, although probably it might be better to give everyone a chance to read the doc and then just have some time set for that. If this time isn't good for people, I'm definitely open to suggestions. So maybe reach out to me on Slack or in the SIG storage Slack.
Are you going to send meeting invite to the SIG storage mailing list?
Yes, I was going to do that after sort of confirming with this group that was a good way to do it. So it sounds like it is.
Okay.
Yep, seems like a good idea. I think that's generally how we handle these special cases, is just do one-off meetings and use that to start moving the conversation forward. So good idea.
Great, thanks.
Okay, anyone else have any topics they want to bring up before we go? Going once, going twice. Okay, then we will call it for today. Thanks everyone for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.